I think you all had a chance to look at the minutes. Whenever you're ready to entertain a motion, we'll accept the motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, I guess, we can both meetings, to
Yes.
approve the minutes for both the regular and executive meeting.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
We need to vote.
So you have to vote, roll call.
Roll call vote, please.
All right, Bounce.
Aye.
He said I can see the nothing.
Bounce.
Speaker's on. His microphone's on.
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Kissett.
Aye.
Move on.
Aye.
Where?
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Sees.
5 ayes, no nays. All right, as far as the approval of the claims, I think it's the same. I think y'all have a chance to look those over. Take a motion whenever you're ready.
I'll make a motion for the claim.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Vote, please. Bounce.
Aye.
Kissling.
Aye.
Levon.
Aye.
Where?
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays.
Hey, Rob, we're not getting sound from them. Are their microphones possibly turned off on their end?
Yeah, that's one of the text emails.
Because we're gonna need to.
Can you hear me now?
Vote on these ordinances.
Should I go ahead, Ricky?
Get discussing. I think they can hear us.
Okay, well, I think they'll have the first ordinance we're looking at is the authorizing the Board of Public Works and Safety to enter into a fire protection contract with the Patoka Township trustees. What's your pleasure?
Yeah, this is something we do every year, and the rate has not changed. The Board of Public Works discussed it in December, the last meeting in December, decided not to request a change. The amount is Here's it, and this reading.
Yes.
I second the motion if you can hear me.
Yes,
We got you now.
Bounce.
Aye.
Kissling.
Aye.
Levon.
Aye.
Where? Aye. Aye. 5 ayes, no nays.
You need to then make a motion to.
you want to consider adopting the same night as introduced, somebody can move to suspend the rules and
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and introduce on the night it's presented.
I'll second. Vote. Bounce.
Aye.
Aye.
Levon.
Aye.
Where? Aye. McFerrin. Aye. 5 ayes, no nays.
then someone needs to move for adoption.
I'm good for adoption of the fire protection plan.
I'll second. Vote. Bounce.
Aye.
Aye.
Levon.
Aye.
Where? Aye. McFerrin. 5 ayes. Aye.
Our programs and use our park for the same fees that the residents of the city do, and they contribute $12,000 to the park department budget for that purpose. This also would take an ordinance for that every year.
2021-02. I'll make a motion to approve.
Introduce.
I'll second.
Vote, please. Bounce. Bounce.
Aye.
Kissling.
Aye.
Levon.
Aye.
Where? Aye. McFerrin. Aye. 5 ayes, no nays.
Suspend the rules.
Make a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Second by Jose. All vote. Bounce.
Aye.
Austin. Aye. Yvonne.
Aye.
Ware. Aye. Karen.
Aye.
Five ayes, no nays.
Aye.
Aye. Karen.
Aye.
Five ayes, no nays.
Good deal. The next ordinance, DuBois County Airport Authority for Services, Fire and Police.
Yeah, this is something we generally do every 2 years, and they pay the city $3,500 to do a daily random police check at the airport, and also they provide, they contract for fire services since they're in Cass Township, not Patoka Township, and they pay $3,500 every year for that, for the services. Again, Board of Public Works decided not to increase that at its last meeting in December.
I make a motion to introduce 2021-03.
I have a second on the motion.
I'll second.
Vote please.
Bounce. Kissling.
Aye.
Aye.
Ware. Aye. McFerrin.
Aye.
Five ayes, no nays.
Make a motion to suspend rules and introduce for night of without entrance.
Have a second.
I'll second.
Vote please.
Bounce.
Aye.
Aye. Yvonne.
Aye.
Ware. Aye. McFerrin.
Aye.
Five ayes, no nays. I make a motion to adopt.
Have a second.
Second.
Second on those. Vote please.
Bounce.
Aye.
Aye. Yvonne.
Aye.
Ware. Aye. McFerrin.
Aye.
Five ayes, no nays.
The next item on the agenda is the designating the Herald as the official newspaper. Please maybe address that a little bit.
Yeah, we have to publish our notices. We have to publish our notices in a legally established newspaper, and actually there's
Make a motion that we approve the Herald to be our official newspaper for this. Have a second.
I'll second it.
Vote please.
Bounce.
Aye.
Aye. Yvonne.
Aye.
Ware. Aye. McFerrin.
Aye.
Five ayes, no nays.
The next item I think you all have on your board pack has to do with cleaning service. Ever since, Jose's mom was cleaning for us. She, since November, has not been able to do that. Obviously, she's got other things to do to take care of things. We've tried to find other people to do that, not had any luck to do that until recently. We found a service that you have a copy of their proposal in front of you. The compensation is not that far off of what we were paying before when you think about all the benefits we were having to pay for Jose's mom. I can't remember her name, I'm sorry. But there you go. I know, I remember it now. But the difference is she was cleaning 1 day a week. A lot of times, unfortunately, it wasn't getting cleaned enough because of people coming in and out of the city hall. This company, which is licensed and bonded, will clean 2 times a week for a total of $250, $125 per cleaning. And like I said, they have 9 or 10 people cleaning for them, so we don't have to worry about somebody on vacation or that type of thing. We're trying right now to have us in City Hall doing the cleaning right now. Doesn't work real well. We're not that good at it, obviously. So I guess since the fact that we're not able to get anybody else to do this, these people were willing to do that. They do a lot of the different offices different around the county. And they've got very high recommendations for people that they've worked for. So I guess my proposal for you all would be to allow us to sign these people up for cleaning services.
And they would be independent contractors. We wouldn't pay benefits or workers' comp or Just on the term, right?
Yes, it's 1 year. And that's why I was saying before, the fact that, before we were paying all the extra stuff on top of that, so the difference between the two is not a whole lot of difference between what we're doing.
So they're gonna clean it in the evenings,
They're gonna come in around 4:30, something like that.
so we'd have to make sure all our documents are secure, I guess, right?
Right, and Tom's office, I think doing it once a week anyway, right, aren't they, Tom? I think that's what they.
Yeah, well, yet to determine, I don't know
Okay, whatever.
whether they'll go in or not.
Okay. That's your call. That's your call.
You know, like, see security wise,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I never had them there during the day, but, yeah.
They hit you first, and so
Speaking of security, Phil, do we have any kind of documentation that a person would have to?
this, cleaning services.
think Jeff's trying to ask the question.
Yeah. Sorry. When here at our office, when we have an outside contractor come in to like service a copy machine or a cleaning person, they have to sign a document that where they commit to, or I'm not sure what the legal term is, Phil, but they have to sign a document stating that they would not leave with any private information or take photographs of anything. Do we have anything like that with our contractors?
Not that I'm aware of, but it wouldn't be a bad idea.
And I'm sure they would sign that too.
It's essentially a confidentiality agreement that,
Right.
that any information they see or observe is confidential, and they're not allowed to take it out of the office.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, thank you.
And once again, if they're willing to sign that, I go ahead and approve their service.
There's a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Vote, please.
Bounce,
Aye.
Kissling.
Aye.
Devine.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
Karen. Aye. 5 ayes, no nays.
All right, so I'll let you take the next one. Because obviously this has to do with me picking the budget. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, actually, as you know, every year you elect a president pro tem, and that individual serves as a presiding officer at meetings if the mayor cannot be present. It also would serve in the event of incapacity or just long-term absence of the mayor for up to 60 days.
In the past, it's been our council at large, which is 10, I'd have no problem with that.
If anybody wants to jump in and do that, that's fine. Otherwise, I'll be happy to take it again.
It's a great resume builder.
Yeah.
You need that, Tim? You need that?
No additional pay then.
Oh, dang it. Okay, no, it's whatever you guys want to do.
Any comments from the crowd out there? All right, I'll just make a motion to Tim be the pro tem.
Do I have a second? Jose, second. Vote, please.
Bounce,
Aye.
Kissling.
Aye.
Devine.
Aye.
Ware. Aye. Karen. Aye. 5 ayes, no nays.
This item, the next one here, has nothing really to do, other than the fact I just want to let you know, I think last time I told you that I was going to appoint 2 new members to the Board of Public Works and Safety. And those 2 new members are Dustin Schmidt and Neil Elkins. So, I spoke to both of those, they were willing to serve, and, actually they were honored to serve, so they both good candidates, so great, just want to let you know that, so. Bill, you're up.
I have nothing new.
Okay.
There was a resolution that we do every year. At budget time, we put so much money in from the surplus earnings from utilities. Those amounts for 2021 are $225,000 from the electric department and $225,000 from the national gas. So,
Yeah, as you remember, we're allowed to do this. If the utility has surplus earnings, you're allowed to budget, during budget time, you're allowed to budget those into the general fund to help keep property taxes down. And you've approved this in your budget, and so now this would authorize Tom to make the transfer.
I make a motion authorize transfer of funds from electric and gas.
Have a second?
So resolution number,
Yeah, that's resolution 2021-04.
I'll second.
Vote please.
Bounce.
Aye.
Islip. Aye. Devon.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
McFerrin. Aye. 5 ayes, no nays. Dave, the last thing I got was like give you an update of our revolving loan fund, just what you reviewed. If you have any questions,
The only question I have is how's that fall thing work? Will they be considered, is Sue getting that collected or how's that work? You know,
It comes across sideways on the screen.
yeah, you can rotate it
I know the work session.
up top or the hip.
Oh, yeah.
the one that there have been recent. Do that one that's decided, so get out of it.
Okay.
All right, probably when you talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what is the collateral they're trying to get on?
Inventory, and the computers and furniture. This is a UCC item.
Storage shelves and things of this kind of thing.
And you've been in contact with that borrower?
The repayment plan is supposed to be forthcoming.
Okay.
Good deal. So do you need kind of motion on this or is this just a knowledge?
It was just your, for your information.
Okay. I'm glad we have it. I think it, obviously, you can tell we have a lot of merchants that utilize it, so I think it's a big asset to the city.
It's been the electric bill issues for net metering that Josh is going to
Okay, the two customers we have on net metering, one commercial, one residential. Back in 2018, when the commercial solar customer went online, and we ordered our meters from our meter company, I ordered a net meter that would go forward and back, so to speak, add, subtract. And said, yeah, we'll send you one that does that. But when they sent it, it wasn't programmed that way, but when we installed it, it wasn't picking up what was sent back onto our system. And then when we installed one for the residential, it was the same way. And I guess when you checked with the solar installer that it wasn't quite probably saving what it should be, and we got to checking where when we called the meter company, they said, no, you got to program it on your side. Well, I didn't know that, so we went back and did some calculations, and we got the right parameters set into the meter. So I think on December 22nd, we did the commercial one, and January 4th, we did the residential. We set our meters back to 0, and then from that point back, we calculated what they sent back to the city and got a dollar amount on them too.
Do you have those dollar amounts? Because I didn't bring that up. It was like $170 and then
177 for the residential
3,000 something, it was 3,000 something.
and 3,700, I think, for the residential. For the commercial, that was over a 3-year period, and the residential was like a 6-month period. So now
Basically, a correction of a billing error.
going forward, it's on the right parameter.
And if we go to the net metering like we're talking about, that wouldn't be our responsibility and it would be input, correct?
That's, yeah. I did have a conversation with him, but about this, and actually that's gonna be the push probably this year for the IMPA, the 61 communities that are part of IMPA. The president at our January board meeting, he's gonna bring it up. Right now, all 61 communities have a net metering, and really nobody's made a move yet. We kind of jumped out in front and kind of questioned him about it. Raj, the president, he's wanting to push everybody that way because the investor owned with Holcomb's executive order, July of 22, net metering will go away. I talked to Frank up there and he said, right now is a good time to do it. Like I said, we have 2 customers versus 20 customers. We tried to change the ordinance, trying to keep down the pushback. And he said out of 61 communities, 18 other communities have solar customers. And the total solar customers, he said, is 31. And that's over the whole state. So he's going to try to put the push on, or to have everybody repeal the net metering and go to the excess generation. Because the more customers you have on the net metering, it's going to hurt the utility, where IMPA will pick up the reimbursement for what they send back into the grid.
That's sort of what I read into that, or figured into that too, is in the long run, I think it'd be better for the city to get rid of that.
And he said, and Frank said that most of these communities that don't have any customers on there yet are really not thinking about, it's not, it's on the back burner for them, because they don't have any customers. So that's going to be their push this year, I believe. So we're kind of got out of the pack, and we're kind of first ones to push it, really. Like I said, that's going to be their emphasis this year. On that.
With somebody that can make a presentation explaining that, answering your questions and the utility board's questions, and then making a decision as to what they're going to recommend to the council. One of the issues is whether or not we're going to grandfather those individuals who are already net metering customers, and for how long. If we do grandfather them, let them allow take advantage of the net metering for so many years. And the other question is whether or not we would allow new net metering people to sign up and apply until the repeal becomes effective.
I think it's in the early stages with them, but I kind of asked them if they would come down to a meeting or Zoom, and I think they're a little reluctant right now because this is just being brought up. So I don't know if they have a clear picture of how everybody's going to go. It's really up to every individual community.
I think it's really nice to come down and explain it so that, you know, so that we can, and even for the first one, it really doesn't matter. We think it's best for them.
Until Raj makes a presentation at the end of the month at the board meeting. So he's going to bring it up. Another thing that the gentleman from IMPA brought up was like the meter charge. And this would have to be where Buzz Crone would have to get his input, where we sell our electric in blocks. He suggested maybe changing the rates in the blocks to coincide with the solar customers. And that would be something Buzz would have to do his study on. But he said something about change the rates in each block for the customers that don't have solar. Their whole bill, when they get to that third block, it would be cheaper than what it is now. but the first block would be like increase the first block, decrease the third block. Buzz will probably explain it a lot better. But kind of adjust your blocks of what you sell. He said some of the communities have talked about that.
So essentially, the solar, who's using less would pay a higher rate on the first usage.
Yeah. Like the first 300 kilowatts, we got a certain rate, and then it drops down. And I've looked on REC's website and some other websites where they kind of doing the same, but every individual community is a little different. So that's something Buzz would check into, what the other communities are doing. But that's a suggestion they may bring up to the 61 communities. Look at your blocks. So if you have a customer that uses hardly anything, you may pay a little higher rate, but your non-solar customers, if they get that third block or the second block, it'd be a little cheaper than what it is now. It's just something Buzz would have to do.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned what that might do to people, elderly who don't use much
Yeah,
energy,
that's
fixed budgets.
That's something that's Buzz would have to,
We want them to be bearing the brunt of that.
yeah. And it's something we'd have to be looked into.
Okay, well, do you think, I mean, I still think that should have somebody come out and talk to us about the whole thing. I think that's probably the best thing to do.
Yeah.
And the reason, I know you talked to them, they said they got to come in for this meeting, but, I think we get down here where we can ask questions and you can explain it to the guy, like, you know, how it does and how it works, especially after we have the meeting in January.
I got a meeting at the end of the month with the board members. Have a little more understanding of how all the other communities are gonna do.
Well, once again, I think we just need to do what's best for us, as far as,
Yeah.
kind of go from that standpoint.
We'll maybe just keep it the same and, we'll repeal the net and go with the excess generation. A lot of different options there.
So kind of like that.
So I'll take
A
it.
refund, not a refund.
So this is all.
Yeah. Well, and we did that commercial customer over the amount of time they had their panels. So how long got them?
3 years.
Basically, $1,000 a year.
Have a motion, go ahead, pay.
So you want to, I guess, it
Yeah, if it's our bill, if it's our meter error. Now, if it was just a broken meter
Yeah.
and nobody knew about it, then we would limit to 6 months. But
I think it's
if it was
fair.
our programming error, we didn't.
I think it's fair that we read our suggestion.
So, I hear a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Got a second?
As far as the net metering, I just think we need to gather some more
I'll
information.
Okay. Vote, please.
Bounce,
Aye.
Wesley, Yvonne, Ware, Barron.
Aye. Aye. Thanks, John, appreciate it.
I think we just need some more information gathering on this.
Yeah,
We'll agree.
totally agree, totally agree. Thank you for coming and explaining it to us. Any other items from the council? Any other items from the citizens?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
You have to kind of, okay.
Bounce,
Aye.
Wesley, Yvonne, Ware, Barron. Aye. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Doug.